All right, all right. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at. The reason why I say that is some of you guys are in Philippines, some of you guys are in United States. Actually, some of the VAs that we know are in other countries, such as Dubai, Canada, just in many, many places. So that's the reason why we wanted to greet you that way. Again, this is our second episode to go on live to help you find a job, right? Help you be a virtual assistant, how you be a super virtual assistant. And today we actually have me, Phyllis, right? And Grace right here. Grace is actually my EA, and she loved the name Amazing Grace. Grace, you want to say hi and introduce yourself real quick?
Hi everyone. Yeah, I would like to be called Amazing Grace, but because that's what I am, amazing. So I'm executive assistant of Boss Phyllis, and I've been here for quite some time, about more than 6 months. So wherever you guys are, good morning, Manila time, or good afternoon, CST.
Yes, and this is the first time she's ever gonna be on a podcast on YouTube Live, so she might be a little bit nervous.
Yes.
So forgive her, because if you are on here right now, you will feel the exact same way. Am I right? So, um, and if you are in our community, feel free to type it down below. If you're new with us, feel free to let us know that you're new here. This is the first time you ever hear about this. Our goal is to at least get 1,000 people to watch our live at the together at the same time. Why am I doing this? Because the virtual assistant business industry is getting, more and more on demand nowadays. After COVID, right? More and more people wanted to work from home, and I understand, especially if you're from the Philippines, right? You will have to travel, to go to work. If you're working in a BPO industry, you actually have to take a Jeep and then go to work, right? And it is not safe at all. And that is what we want to make sure that you don't have, right? So, what I wanted to share with you today, because that is the top question that everybody asks, which is how to get the job that you truly desire as a virtual assistant. Okay, how do you get the job that you truly desire as a virtual assistant? And why would I want to give you this topic, right? Give you the aha moment, because we interview so many people every single day. We interview so many people, and I was like, man, I wish they know this so that they can do this, right? I wish they know about that. So again, the truth is, I can give you thousands and thousands of them, right? What to do, how to do it. But today, because we only have maybe 30 minutes, the max 45 minutes, right? But ultimately, I want to give you the top 3 points, okay, so that you will remember. That's what my coach say. Keep it as simple as you possibly could, so that it could be easily digestible, and then you will not forget. Okay, so I call it the get a job framework. Get a job framework, right? So it has 3 points. Okay, it has 3 points. Am I lagging? I feel like I'm a little bit lagging, but ultimately it is what it is. I'm sorry guys if I'm lagging. But the 3 points that I have is, the first one is create. Okay, I'm sorry, the first one is clarity. The first one is clarity. um Hey, Pearly. The first one is clarity. Why am I saying this? I recognize that when after I interview, virtual assistant for the past, first is 12 years for myself, right? And then afterward, 3 more years that I did it, for my whole company. We have hired about 2,000 virtual assistants so far. In our database, we have about 20,000, people that have applied for us so far. And one thing that I realized is a lot of virtual assistant does not know what they want to do. right? A lot of you does not know what you want to do. Ultimately, what you are looking for, a lot of your mindset is like, as long as I can get a job, I'm good. I don't care what job that is, right? What do I need to do, right? And I'm telling you, man, if you're looking for a job right now, looking for long term in this industry, you can actually do a job that is long term. Yes, you hear me right. It is a long term position that you can have. So since it's a brand new chance, brand new start, then you wanted to really have clarity, right? Like, truth is, what is the hours that you really want to work, right? What is the hours that you really want to work, right? What kind of job do you want to do, right? What kind of job do you want to do? Like, I mean, do you want to work as an executive assistant? Do you want to work as a social media person? Do you like to talk? Do you like to do creation mode? Do you just want to do accounting, right? Like, what do you truly like to do, right? And some of you guys might say, man, Phyllis, I don't know. I really don't know what kind of job I would like to do, right? That's okay. I will strongly suggest you all to do this thing called the understand.me. Okay, understand.me, which is something that we get everybody to do anyway. I'm gonna type it out real quick. Right. This thing is called the understand.me. And what it does is it will give you quite a few assessment. Okay, quite a few assessments so that you can get to know yourself really well. It come with, this personality profile, which is like to get to know whether you're a dominant personality, influential personality, stable personality or conscientious personality. So now, in order for you to know all that, then you can know, okay, what position should I be getting? And some of them was surprising. I was like, oh, I have been doing sales job for a long time, but I realized that I actually do not like to talk. I was like, really? Don't you think that's kind of interesting? That's why a lot of time when you go home, you feel really exhausted, right? When you go home, you feel really exhausted because you are not the kind of people that who like to chat. You get what I'm saying? And this happened to us all the time. Whenever I was interviewing, I saw this person, man, like sales, 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 customer service. And then I look at the, the this person profile, and I was like, and I was like, oh, he's a C personality. So I asked, hey, what is going on? If you have a choice, if money is not an issue, and I want you guys to write this thing down, right? If money is not an issue, what is the job that you really want to do, right? If you do not have to get paid, what is the job that you like to do, right? And if the answer is, well, I kind of like the task related job, I kind of like to do designing, I kind of like to do writing, well, then you got the answer. Then you got the answer. That is the job that you wanted to do. So you wanted to be very clear on that too. And the truth is, I also recognize that some virtual assistant, after they work for a while, they realize too that they like to work in a physical location. They actually like the human touch, right? And after a while, they work with us, and they're like, I'm done. I need to go back to BPO industry. So you really wanted to get to know yourself very well, right? What you want, how you like it, right? And if some of you guys, I know a lot of you guys are saying good morning, right? Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Type it down, right? Like, oh, after I work with, figure out my disc, this is what I like. This is how I like it. Inside this too, there's one of the really good tests too. Is called the 5 love language. I love, 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 love that thing. That really help out with clients, but especially with your spouses, because in the past I like to buy things for my husband because I thought everybody liked gifts, and but my husband never cared about those gifts, and I was just like, oh my god, like, why don't you like those gifts? I keep buying you the gift, right? And then when we did the test, then we realized he actually liked physical touch. That means that he liked me to hold his hand, he liked me to hug him, he liked me to like touch his hair, But so to him, if I don't give him any gift, but as long as I have a physical touch on him, right, hugging him and all that, then he feel really good, right? And then for me, I was like, oh, what is the one that I really like? And I found out that through the test that I actually love words of affirmation. That means like, oh, Phyllis, you did a great job, right? Oh my god, that is amazing, right? You're doing amazing. Like the verbal compliment, right, will really be really work for me, right? So again, those are the a really amazing tests. Again, if you already not have a job right now, I bet you have a lot of time. First thing first is obviously subscribe and comment to our video, right? And watch every single video that we have, because I know it will give you more knowledge, right? Ideas on how to be the best VA in the easiest way possible, because I'm going to be sharing with you all the details of how you can be the best VA so that you don't, work on the wrong, go to the do the wrong thing, right? So with the first one, I would love Grace to comment, right? Clarity. Before you join us, do you have any clarity of the position? Do you have any clarity of what you want, and did you really get the job that you truly want right now? And ultimately, you can also ask Grace. I constantly ask her, is this the job that you like? Right, Grace?
Yes, definitely. In terms of clarity, of course, when we started looking for a job, we have to make sure that the things that we want will be on the job ad. For example, um, is it something that you are good at? So, for example, when I was looking for a job post, I'm actually reading the skills or the qualities that they are looking for. Am I fit for that job? What are their time zone? So that is very important as well. As a mother of two, right, we have to figure out what time zone will fit me. Will this fit in my current situation right now? So that's a clarity that I need as well. So those two things that I'm checking whenever I look for a job is that what are they looking for? Can I serve them? And is this time zone will work for me or not? And if you're looking for a job, that is something that you have to be clear of before entering or before applying. And yes, when I get here in in Phyllis Song Consulting, you can get more clarity, of course, when you start asking questions. So yeah, that's for me. How do you guys think? You comment below, guys, if you want to add something about clarity.
Yes, exactly what she say. Ultimately, Grace was a customer service representative before. She had never done virtual executive assistant before, but to me, everything could be taught. Everything is learnable as long as you have the right mindset. You love what you're doing, and ultimately, that's what I always ask her. Is this what you want? Right? How do you like it? And you should ask yourself too, like, again, every day, right? If money is not an issue, is this really what I want to do? Because if you do love what you do, then you will never ever work one day in your life, right? Let me repeat that again. If you love what you do, then you never ever work another day of your life. However, if you're an introvert and you're constantly on sales calls or talking to people, you feel really exhausted, and then when you get home, you're just not 100% anymore. However, if you love talking to people, right, every day you just gonna get fueled by talking to people, when you go home, you're still gonna be super happy, super excited. Okay, but again, do can you be can you be the can you force us to do it? Of course you can, right? But again, ultimately here, Coach Phyllis, right? I just wanted to share with you on how you can be better. Okay. So that's point number one, clarity. Know what you want, who you are, how you want it. And again, let me tell you one thing that is very clear to me is that money cannot buy everything. You might think that, man, if I land a really good job, right, my family will be happier because we have more money in the bank account. But let me tell you
Mhm.
this, most of your kids, especially if they are less than 12 years old, they actually just want mommy daddy time. They don't really care about the food. They don't really care about where they go. They just want their mommy and daddy together be with them. Okay. And actually, Grace know a lot about it, actually, because
Yeah.
yeah, share with us your story.
That's actually true, right? Because I've worked overseas before. And why am I here? That's because of my family, right? So yeah, that's true. Money cannot buy everything. I could get a high salary, send money over here for a huge amount, maybe a huge amount here in the Philippines, but it doesn't, it's not enough to cover the time that I'm losing apart from my family. So yeah, we just like to really point out that it's just not money all the time.
Yes. And again, if you are an OFW, right, you are the overseas foreign worker.
Worker?
Yeah. Just hear what Grace said, right? I know, right? Ultimately, again, I want to honor all of you guys that work overseas that make so much money, right? But I know that there's always that gap in your heart, right? And also your children is going to miss you so much because they want to grow up with you as a mother, as a father, right? Instead of growing up with grandparents. Again, nothing wrong with grandparents, right? Grandparents there, if you guys are listening to this, nothing wrong there. But I know because I grew up without my mom and my dad, and I always just feel that void inside me. Is like, oh man, I wish they are here for with me and for me. And that's right now we're creating this Super VA community so that we can really help you guys get a really good job, making good money, right? And stay home and raise your children so that your children doesn't feel how you feel when you're growing up, right?
That's right.
I love it. And Christina say, if money is not an issue, I want to be a stay-home mom. But right now, I'm working at home. I'm working at home. Is that mean the same thing, or you actually means that it's not the same thing? So, congratulations. You're now, working. You're working at home, mom, right? And you're staying home, right? And again, if you guys are new with us, right, you want to get a job, there's a link down below that you can, obviously apply, right? And we will be starting some, courses coming out here to really help you get yourself better. But again, all these audio, all these video and podcast is going to help you really well. All right. So point number two. Okay. Point number two. After you have the clarity of what you want, who you want, how you want to do it, right? What kind of position you really wanted. Then the second one that you want to do is create. Okay. Create. What does that mean? Well, create your resume, making sure that you look good, right? If you're social media people, create your asset, right? Whether it's website, your video. I would strongly suggest if you are applying for like a company, just create some asset that pretending that you're already working there, and then create some assets for them. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of you will just send us like assets that is like in the past that you have done. Some of them is a little bit old, right? Especially right now, AI is coming out. So you want to look at what you have, right? But the very important thing is if you create something, like if you're really serious with that company, right? You want to create something that relates to that company so you feel a lot closer. And I can promise you, I interview so many people. Not a lot of people take initiative to create things for us to see, right? To make us feel special. So if you really do that, you immediately have win the job. Okay. And number three is also create your image. Like this thing, this box right here is very, 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 very important. I saw a lot of people who show up to the interview, their video is gray. Their audio cannot hear, right? And you don't look good. And I would suggest, like get a, like a shirt like this, right? Not don't wear a t-shirt, right? Put some makeup on. If not, turn on the Zoom makeup, right? So you make yourself look good, right? Put your earrings on, right? Making sure that you really look presentable. Because, and again, you just don't have to do it too far, right? It just this up, and ultimately your head has to be about 80%. I know a lot of your VAs, oh, you like, I know you're shy, right? But don't do this. Do not do this. Hi, my name is so and so. How are you doing today? You're doing amazing. Do you think you see me? Do you think you want to interview? Right? Or sometimes you do this, right? Oh, hi, how are you doing? You are amazing, right? I mean, high five, boss. Like, I would love you to give me a job. I cannot really connect with you. So you want to be very careful and look at the camera, right? And create your image. Okay, create your image. And all the introvert out there, this is actually on the next point. But I'm going to share with you right now, which is if you're an introvert and you speak really soft, get closer to the microphone because automatically you will be a whole lot louder. And when you are louder, you are more confident. Okay, when you're louder, you're more confident. And my team is like, hey, make sure you read all those comments, right? So Christine here saying, no place I'd rather be, helping my family and be there for them, especially my kids. Absolutely, man. Like kids are everything. I think kids are the best gift for us. And again, I want you to know if you're a mother out there, right? I love you all, mother. And there's nothing that you can do wrong for your kids. Never feel guilty or shame because remember, there's a lot of worse mother out there compared to you, and their kids still love them. So try your best, but not too much, right? Not until the point where you lose yourself. At least that's what I realized. So ultimately, again, going back to create, right? You wanted to really like, like it's almost like a movie, like when you watch a movie, right? They have this person called Superman, right? And then you will see, okay, this is their outfit, this is how they dress, this is how they speak, right? This is their stories, this is their background. One of the biggest piece that that as a business owner that we have learned so far is to collect stories about ourselves so that when we speak to other people, we can share those stories. I love you to keep a couple stories toward yourself too, right? Like, where are you good? why should we hire you, right? What makes you reliable? What makes me trust you? You must have some really good quality that you have that you could share with us, but sometimes because you are not well thought through, right? And then when people ask, you're like, I don't know, I'm nervous, right? So once in a while you can have those notes too. Okay, so you're ultimately creating your image. Okay, and number three, are you ready for number three? If you are, say yes. Oh, actually, let's go back to number two first. Right, great. And as you can see, Grace right here, she definitely created a really good image for herself, right? She looked good. She have her headset on, right? She smiled really well. Sometimes I know you're nervous. You need to smile during the interview process because we want to hire friendly people, not nervous people, right? And again, remember, okay, remember this. This is a real tip. If you did something wrong, we cannot come through the computer to snap you or yell at you or shake you. Okay. So don't be afraid. If you make any mistakes, you just have to shut down the computer. There's nothing to be afraid of. Right? Grace, any comments on point number two? Oh, you're muted.
All right. So creating, yeah, it's very important, especially for the new VAs out there who would like to apply. You're creating your image. So just like what Boss Phyllis say, right? Be prepared when you come and join for an interview. So you have to make sure that your camera is on the really like facing the camera, because sometimes I can see those applicants that are coming in that their camera is not ready, their lights are off, we cannot really see their face. So we would like the first impression to, the first impression really lasts. So you would like to create a good impression. So by saying that, create a first impression. Have that view, good feel, so that you'll also feel confident when you are presenting yourself to others. Right now, I'm really nervous. So, but I'm trying to really create that image that, yes, I can do it. I really can create an image that, yes, I am prepared for this. So, just like those guys that are watching right now, always create a confident image, because it will carry you through. That's for me.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, Grace. And just I also what Yin Yin was saying, right? Be spontaneous, be authentic,
Mhm.
show them who you are and what you got. The reason why I like Grace is not nothing but because she remind me about me, right? She can relate with me. Even if she's nervous, at least she's genuine, right? So I know about her. Some of you, right? Again, show your true self because you want to be you, right? Monique right now is busy, but she was, with me for 12 years so far, right? And she's consistent for the 12 years. So, sometimes she's mean, right? Monique's not here, so we can talk crap about her. But sometimes she's nice, right? And a lot of times she's very protective, but she is being her. And don't worry, if the first client doesn't like you, the second one doesn't like you, the third one will, right? Eventually, what you want to do is kind of like a soulmate. You want to find a client who truly like you when you are truly yourself, and you don't have to pretend, you don't have to act to become like somebody that is not you, right? And and again, just like what my team was saying, right? It doesn't hurt to practice before starting. Yeah, doesn't hurt to say, to practice a couple times, like, hey, my name is Phyllis, how are you doing today, yada yada yada. I mean, to be honest with you, I have I have been on camera for such a long time. I feel like I'm just less nervous because I know that nobody's gonna come through the Zoom, computer, right, and yell at me, right? So I'm okay. And I think I love also one thing that Dan say, right? Oh, Christine say, boost your confidence, right? Just just stare, just stare at your screen, your face on the screen. Tell yourself that you can do it and nail it. And I think that is absolutely very important. And I think again, go back to what Dan is saying too. Is I always remind those people to show us the best version of themselves when they show up. Do you want to hear one of the biggest secret? If you are nervous, tell them you are. Hey, I really want to nail this job, right? I'm just a little bit nervous right now. So if I'm not smiling, if I'm not doing this, just want you to know I'm just a little bit nervous. You're like, oh, so then at least I know. And I was like, oh, you're so cute. Like, you don't have to be nervous. I'm just a human being. Like, that's how I usually say to the VAs. So it's okay to really like speak out the truth, because after you let it go, it's like, okay, I just want you to know I'm nervous, right? Then you're like, okay, I'm nothing to nervous about, because the person already know that I'm nervous. Does it gonna make sense? Yeah, I know it makes sense, because you guys are all smart people. So ultimately, that's just what my team was saying, right? Create a confident image, right? You might not be confident to yourself, but you need to be confident to your craft, right? Like confident to what you can provide, confident about the characteristic that you have as a human being. You need to be confident about yourself. Maybe not even your ability, right? Like just be confident that I'm a good person. I'm an honest person. You can rely on me. I will always show up on time, right? And I will always go above and beyond. And that is all that you need, right? That's really, to be honest with you, experience to us in our community is important but secondary. We are really looking for personality characteristic characteristic right? Be honest, right? That we can trust, and that is more important than skills. I mean, when Grace come in, I mean, to ask Grace right now, if Grace, you can think through, right, in the past, what, 7 months that you work with us, right? What are some of the software and things that you do? Maybe count like five new things, right? What are 5 new things that you learn? Oh, you are muted again. Haha. Oh, you need to unmute yourself again.
Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is that in one of the tools is actually Zoom. Initially, I thought Zoom was just very straightforward, but if you're working with someone who will always be using Zoom. So you need to know how to be the host. You need to know how to create breakout rooms. You need to know the things that like the things that you need to know, especially if you are with a CEO, right? So I am still learning Zoom. I sometimes shut it off accidentally. So that's one of the tools that I've learned. What else? I also learned about using some other stuff like GHL, the basic of it. We also have Airtable. We also have some chat forms. So these are all things that we are using virtually because I've been working in corporate world. These are the things that we don't normally use in virtual. In the corporate world, it's just the basic telephone. You get a system all set up. You get the actual paperworks, but you don't have those virtual thing that you use to send or to communicate with other people. But these are things that you will learn along the way as long as you are resourceful. That's what I always hear from them. You have to be resourceful and also be patient, right? Be good to yourself, right? You cannot just learn it in one go. There will still be a lot of learning to go to happen. So yeah, I think I don't want to say a lot of things, but in that 7 months, I've learned a lot of tools. And thanks to the community because they're all very helpful.
Yes, absolutely. We definitely have a really good, community that support each other on. And I love what Grace just actually kind of mentioned. And again, if you guys are not right, just kind of like what, actually, we have our back end person, which is Rachel, right, who is telling you to take notes, right? If you have not done a VA position before, right, you have not been in this world before, and if you want to work with people in United States, right, in the BPO industry, because ultimately a lot of our client in the US are one of the nicest ones. Honestly speaking, they're more generous, they're more forgiving, and they speak up a lot more too. And what are the tools that you need, right? Well, you need Zoom for sure, right? Learn Zoom in and out, right? You need task management tools. You can start learning from like Asana or Trello board just to get to know them, like how you're going to use it. You definitely need to use Google Suite, right? Like, Google,
Mhm.
either Google or Microsoft. That is kind of like, it depends on what the client is. Some people are Microsoft people, some of them are Google people, but I would definitely say one of them. For us, we use a lot of WhatsApp, Messenger, Slack, right? You need to learn how to use those. And then nonetheless, you need to learn an AI conversation tool, right? Whether it's
Oh,
ChatGPT, right?
yeah.
Whether is Gemini, right? Mid Journey, right? So that you can speed yourself up, right? And if you're a website designer, right? I don't know, ClickFunnels, right? Go High Level, GoDaddy, right? WordPress, right? Again, ultimately they are all very similar. Okay, they're all very similar. You just want to know a little bit of basic for each one. But again, going back to the first point, right? Clarity. Need to know what you want to do and how you want to do it, so that, right, you can go learn the specific software you want to learn. And again, I love what Christine say, right? Thank you so much, Christine. You have been very involved in this chat. I love it, right? Christine said I can vouch for that, right? I've been working with a client from Phyllis for almost 2 years now, 2 years, all right? And very generous, caring, kind, so grateful. Thank you, Phyllis. And again, you know why? Because we have been hearing a lot of VAs complaining to us before they come to our community too. They said that they really got a lot of like bad clients, like either they really like have bad attitude, or they block them off after working with them for like a month, right? Getting them to work overtime, always questioning them, and again, I think this is a really like term that you guys are using is, this is a toxic environment. I want to get away from this toxic environment, or I want to get away from this toxic loop, right? So again, if you really have clarity on what you want, right? Even like people even hire like medical VA, and maybe next time we will share with you like what are the position you can do. Maybe some of the VAs here you might not know. If you have nursing background, you can actually be a medical VA, because you have some nursing experience. So there's a lot of doctors and nurses that practitioner that want to work with you too. Okay, don't forget that. But again, how do you want yourself to be, right? Create that character, update your resume, like what Monique said, because some of you guys do not update your resume, right? If you don't know grammars, pop it into like ChatGPT to tell them to correct your grammar, correct your English. Because if your resume have some misspell, how you do something is how you do everything, right? How do you do something? That's how you do everything. A lot of clients will actually look through it. You have errors on it. They might just skip you. Okay. And last but not least, one of the most important thing about create too is create a video about yourself. 9 out of 10 times, VA are very shy. That's why we created this word called shyness does not make you money. Shyness really doesn't make you money, because if you don't talk, I don't know how good you are, right? So you can do a quick 1-minute video, smile, look good, right? And send it to the person you're applying to. It most likely will shoot you back up to the pile, because nobody else is putting that effort. Okay, nobody else is putting the effort in. So strongly suggest you, when you're creating, right, on creation mode, right, think about what you want to do first, and then create, right, and create your resume, create your image, right, create your strategy, right, create your stories, right, so that you can easily get the job that you desire. I know making videos run your struggle, but again, you just turn on the video. You have to remember, when you're making videos, you're literally just talking to yourself, as if we are going to see you and talking to you. So it doesn't really make that much different. And I keep reminding myself about that. And one more thing too, after you record it, you do not have to watch it anymore. You do not have to watch it anymore. So you can just record, send. That's what I've been doing. I haven't been looking at my own video because I feel really shy, right? I'm actually an introvert. So, but I love to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to, help a lot of VAs get a job, right? And like really get a good job, and you can retire, right? Retire with the clients too. Okay. So, point number 3, we only have about 15 minutes to go. Point number 3 is communicate. Okay, communicate. Same thing with what we talk about. Shyness doesn't make you money. You need to communicate with the people, right? You need to chat with them, right? You need to find out, are they on Facebook? Are they on Slack, right? Are they on WhatsApp? Are they on just emails, right? And then when you're communicating with them through emails, is your title very, is your title, highlight title, is your messaging really good? Again, all these things can be done by ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, can you create me a letter that my client will, this is my client website. This is how my client talk. And can you craft me an intro email so that they will pick me from the pile, right? Again, you don't even have to do the work anymore. You can actually ask the questions. Thank you, Rachel. She said, boss is shy when making videos, but she does it anyway and slay it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, going back to it, right? Which is, you can ask ChatGPT to give you the most amazing first impression ever, because you have the time. Take time to do it. And again, it only take ChatGPT maybe 30 seconds and then another 30 seconds to tweak it, and then you can create one already. If you're doing a 1-minute video, you can get ChatGPT to create the script, right? so that you can send it over. One most important thing that I wanted to share with you too is that you don't have to use difficult words. Difficult word doesn't mean that it make you look better, because a lot of time I know certain words cannot be pronounced by Filipino, like black. You guys will say black, I think. Some of the words you can't really say. So skip those words, right? And say something that's super simple that you can really do very well on. Okay. Ultimately, yes, just like what Christine said, right? The key is to build the strong connection and trust, right? And Monique also talk about, learn about your client's industry, get to know them, connect with them, right? From there and build rapport. Another big secret I want to share with you: ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT is really, really smart. To be honest with you, ChatGPT know more about our business. The truth is, you don't even have to watch his YouTube. You can actually ask everything through ChatGPT. But I know I'm much more entertaining. That's why you like to watch me more, right? So click the subscribe button, right, so that the bell will ring when you listen to us. Kind of cheesy, but I guess I need to say that, right? So go back to it, right? Communicate. You want to communicate with them of who you are. Communicate that, again, you are trustworthy, right? This is the most important thing. I can trust you. There's nothing else more important than I can trust you. Boss, you can trust me, right? Mr. Client, Miss Client, right? You can trust me. I might not know what it is, but I will never let you down, right? I might not know what it is, but I will never lie to you. That's the most important thing out of everything. And you need to be able to communicate with them about it. Second point, you need to be the best relationship builder. Okay. You need to be the best relationship builder. I know some of you guys here are so smart. You have all the credential in the world. However, if you don't know how to communicate and build that relationship and that connection with the client, right? Make them feel like you are a friend, right? You most likely will not get the job. Okay, you most likely will not get the job, because if I cannot connect with you, if I don't know who you are, right? Um, it will be kind of hard for us to pick you, because what we are thinking about is kind of like dating and then to marriage. It's like, I have to think, can I hang out with you or not? Can I spend more time with you, right? And again, if you want to learn about your client's communication style, they most likely have some sort of a Facebook, YouTube, right? Instagram. Go watch in there. How do they speak? What do they speak? What do they like? How do they like? Right? And sometime, based on communication, like what we talk about too, like stories, right? What are the stories they can share, which you wanted to share with them? Hi, my name is, right? So for me, like, hi, my name is Phyllis, right? I have 4 children, right? 1 girl, 3 boys, right? They love swimming, right? And we love to travel. Why am I telling you this? Because the people that interview with you can connect with you, right? Will be able to connect. Oh yeah, I have kids too. Oh, I have a daughter too, right? I love travel too, right? And my kids love swimming too. Then you'll be able to build that build that connection with them. Or you can even say, I love Avengers movie, because who doesn't? Almost everybody like, right? So ultimately, you can share something like that, so that it's not just a credential. Oh, I know how to use Asana, I know how to use Zoom, this, that, whatever. They need to genuinely be able to connect with you, so that they will want to hire you. And ultimately, that is communication. You need to communicate with confidence. Even if you're not a confident person, you can just say, hey, I'm usually kind of shy, but I'm really good at what I do. Especially if you're a CPA out there, that is something that you need to learn about it, right? And then sometimes you want to share with the story. Hey, is there I always like to ask this question: is there anything else that you would like to tell me, so that I will pick you, right? Then you can tell them a story. Well, once upon a time, I picked up a purse with $7,000 in the purse, right? USD. I mean, that's true story from us. And I know that the person most likely is going to get nervous, right? Because $7,000 is a lot of money, right? And so what I did is I just hold onto the purse and just waited there for an hour for the person to come back and pick up that purse from me. So, Mr. Client, the reason why I'm telling you this is because I want to show you that I am truly trustworthy person. I believe in karma, and I know that if I do good, good is going to come back to me. If I do bad, bad is going to come back to me. So I will never ever cheat on anyone, right? Because that is what I believe. Just by that story, just by what I tell you, you're like, oh wow, this is really, really good, right? And I love what Christine say, right? I think it's also important for that you know a lot about your client, as if you want to clarify based on my experience. If you have more things in common, you'll feel more connected to them and them to you. Absolutely. Even if, right, some of you guys that's watching here right now, even if you already have a job with your client, some people actually stop building relationship with the client. I already got a job. I don't have to communicate with them that we're already like I'm safe, right? But the truth is, it is not. You do need to communicate with them constantly, build that relationship. You know, at the very beginning, Monique was just a person that we hire. Right now, Monique is like my little sister, right? She knows more things about me than most of my family members, right? And ultimately, that is the most important piece, which is communicate and always ask them questions, okay? Or you can ask them too, hey, is there any other question that you would like to ask me that I haven't answered you yet, that is really crucial? Because I'm ready to tell you everything. I'm an open book, right? No VA ever asked me that question ever. It's always like, oh, I'm done. Do you guys have anything else? No. Always think about that one question you can ask. Okay, do you guys have any question? Always figure out one question to ask them, because then they know that, oh wow, you at least you communicate with me. Because the number one myth, we will share about myth the next time, right? The number one myth about a VA is they're too shy, they don't know how to communicate, and thus I cannot work with them. And obviously, Kuase, I love the idea of relationship building, yet at the same time, I'm like, I'm really shy with communication. What could I do for starters to conquer this fear? Just speak by starting, how are you doing today, boss? Right? How are you doing today, boss? Right? What can I do for you? Or can you share your wins? Actually, just share your wins, right? Let's celebrate the wins today. What are the wins that you have? Right? Creating a ritual, because ultimately that will create things that is positive, right? Yeah, we just got another client who, right? That's amazing. How did
Mhm.
you do it? Again, you can also put it in ChatGPT, ask like 10 million questions, right? Come up with it, and then just pop one in every single day, right? Eventually we'll get used to it, because your client, the truth is, will be one of the person that you're closest to. If you are taking me on and build that true trust relationship, then there's nothing to be afraid of, because you're just like talking to your sister or your brother, right? Never stop knowing about more about your clients, build a relationship with them. And now, Grace, what do you think about communicate? Do you think you're a great communicator?
Communicating, I think that's one of the strength that I have. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, because for me, communicating, if you would like to land on your dream job, you have to know your strength, and you have to be able to really communicate it. Like, for example, in an interview, right? You have to be able to articulate what you're good at, right? Really say the things that you can do, that you can offer. So communication is very important, and I think that's the reason, or that's the strength, and that's the reason why I am here right now, because I communicate what I can do. And part of communication is also showing enthusiasm, right, to the role. To when you're talking to someone, you should show that you are engaged and really wanted to listen to them. So it's important if you would really like to land that dream job of yours. So I'm going back to the topic, right? Landing the dream job. And yeah, part of communicating as well is asking questions, right? If you'd like to know more, ask questions. And um, and part of the job is to always follow up. So that's for me, is for communicating, boss. That's why it's very important.
Yes, absolutely. Just like what Kwa say, right? Just like talking to your sister or your brother, like asking them about their day.
Mhm.
Beautiful, so simple yet easy to visualize. I'm excited. Great tip. Thank you so much. And I love what you just say, visualize it. Like you can literally like visualize every day, like, okay, I'm talking to boss, right? And they're talking to me really nice and all that, right? And I wanted to share one piece with you. Some of my clients or some of the VAs always get curious, like, why do they call me boss? Well, first thing first is because Monique always had to call me boss, even when I tell her not to call me Phyllis. And the second thing is actually most Filipino have a hard time pronouncing the word Phyllis because it's PHY instead of FE. So at the end it was just very easy, boss, 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 and then they just call me boss. Instead of Miss Phyllis, it's actually kind of hard to pronounce it as a Filipino. So anyway, so they just kind of keep it in as boss. And I used to have really low self-esteem. So I felt like boss was like, not too cool. But then I was like, okay, I need to own that I am the boss. I'm the real boss. I'm making the decision. I need to own the company. I need to lead the company. And that's they call me boss. So ultimately now I am AKA the boss, the coach, right? So if you are like, man, is it something off about you calling boss? I mean, that's just what, if you want to blame somebody, just blame Monique because, she's the one that created that name, right? Yeah, there you go. You see, like Monique is listening. Lady boss, boss lady, boss, Yes, I am the boss and I own it, right? Because I'm really proud of being a boss. So let me summarize the whole thing, right? Again, my coach is saying don't give them 18 things, okay? Just only give them 3 things. But next week I'm gonna give you 10. I can't help it because I want to give you everything, right? But again, the very key 3 points that you wanted to know is number one, clarity. Really know what you want. Life is short. Be happy because whether you are you're gonna make money whether happy or not, just choose to be happy to make money, okay? Number two is create, right? After you decide who you want to be, how you want to be, right, then create the image that you want so that you can get that job. Because sometimes I have people that it's like, man, I want this X amount of money, but the camera quality is bad, right? You look bad, your communication is not good, right? And it's like, and then I ask you, how long have you find a job? Oh, like 2 years. Of course, because your resume and your image doesn't match what you're asking for. You have to make sure that it's like this, or again, everybody like a deal. So create it really, really good, right? And then ask your client to give you a deal. That's why some of the VAs that in our community, they got a job within like 5 days, 2 weeks. It was easy for them because they have created that image that match with the position and match with the rate too. Okay. I know a lot of people out there are very lucky nowadays as a virtual assistant, making a ton load of money. But again, ask yourself, right? Like if you're not a talker, you just want to do data entry position and customer service position. Unfortunately, it does not get paid the same. But again, I still have a lot of people who is really happy with what they get because ultimately you get a lot of really good money, by working as a virtual assistant, right? You know that. And number three is obviously communicate. Learn communication, guys. Please, I love you, but don't speak Tagalog every day and don't watch too much Korean movie unless it's in English language. Netflix, you can turn on English subtitle in English because it will translate, right? You need to speak really good English because English, if your customer service sales, I mean, ultimately any position, if your English is good, equate to higher rate. If your English is not good, equals to a lower rate. So you do need to practice your English, right? If you ever thought about a kid, you wanted to raise your kid, make sure you communicate with them in English too. I know some amazing Filipino, unfortunately, our kids are not good at English, and thus they could not really get a job, as a virtual assistant in a virtual assistant world. And I just feel bad for them, right? Because the only choice that they have is to work in Philippine with the Philippine government, which ultimately they usually make less than half of what a VA world is, right? And I love Char say, hoping to enter the VA world. I mean, it's beautiful, right? I mean, you can dress however you want, right? You can eat home food. You don't have to travel anymore. You can even save makeup because right now we have beautiful Zoom makeup. You don't even need to have makeup at all, right? So it's really, really amazing. And again, I know my team has already put out the link, right? If you are looking to, for a position right now, you're ready, here's the link, feel free to click on it so that you can be in our system. But again, that is not my thought for you, right? I just wanted to merely pay forward, teach you, right? And obviously also in hope that if you are applying for our position in our company, in our community, right, you study all the YouTube videos already, so I don't have to teach you what I have already taught you on YouTube. Does it kind of make sense? Again, we love you all very, very much. And Grace, is there anything else that you would like to, repeat, summarize, or share with everybody else?
Yeah, for those who stick with us until here, until the end, right? Remember, the journey to your dream job is not just about finding where you fit, but also about growing into the person you aspire to be. Take note of it. Growing to the person you aspire to be. And thank you for sticking with us until this point.
Yes. And last but not least, the most important point that I pay a lot of money to learn about is how you are is how your kids will be. How you are
Mhm.
is how your kids will be. If you're happy every day doing a job that you really enjoy, that's what your kids is going to be. If you're miserable right now and you're doing the work that you don't like because of the money, that's how your kids is also going to be. Because we're very simple. We copy what we see from our parents until we unlearn the stuff that we learn. Ask me how I know. I have learned a lot from my parents, and I was like, whoa, they are really wrong. And now they are right, right? So you might be curious, right? Again, I would love you to type it down below, right? If you're watching a replay, put down your this is your my replay. You know, what is the best topic that you have? Love you to kind of help us out, you know, share our content out there, right? Share with all your friends and family, share us onto your Facebook, right? Letting people know that this channel exists so that we can give you all the free knowledge for free, right? So that you can really get a good VA job. We will also be gearing into, like, if you're already a VA, right? What do you need to know? What do you need to do? Well, next week, you might be asking, like, what are we going to talk about? We will be talking about, oops, let me check it really quickly. It's a top 10 common sense that you cannot miss in the VA industry. I know common sense is not so common. I will share with you a lot about what that really means. You're like, what does that mean, Phyllis? Well, common sense in United States, when we talk about dinner, it's a steak or fries. In Philippine, it's definitely rice, not a lot of noodles. In Chinese culture, we actually do a lot of noodles for dinner. But again, that is a common sense. I would not know, never know until I go to Philippine, right? Common sense is Philippine. When you're happy, cheerful, you are celebrating. Most people will go to Jollibee, but we only have one Jollibee in Texas, Dallas, Texas. So I would never know about Jollibee because that's not a common sense in here. So anyway, again, if you're an existing VA, show up for the call to next week. If you are brand new VA, right, show up to the call next week because you will not want to miss this 10 common sense that you do not want to ever miss because you're in the VA industry, so that you can eliminate fire, right, increase the rate of getting hired, and you can share with your clients that, hey, boss, I really know all these common sense that you a lot of VA doesn't know. That's why I am the best VA that you should hire right now. And don't waste any more time. Don't look any further, right? I am it. Just click the word hired and I will start working for you, right? So anyway, one last anyway, I love you all very much. And I look forward to talk to you guys very, very soon. And have a good weekend. Bye-bye.